What's up, everybody? James Gunn and Peter Safran held a press event last week, and we've got updates on just about every DCU project, including some new ones. Before we get into this jam-packed story, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss out on daily videos from the nerdy world. But with that being said, let's dive into the 6-year plan for the James Gunn era at DC Studios. First off, the plan moving forward is this: 2 live-action movies a year and 1 animated movie. Then, 2 live-action shows and 2 animated shows. So, in total, 3 movies and 4 shows a year, which it feels like a lot, but there's a lot from the comics and DC that hasn't been tapped yet for movies and shows, so there's stories to tell. That doesn't apply to this year, obviously, though, as we're looking at 2 shows and a movie, all 3 coming from James Gunn himself. We got Creature Commandos already, Superman comes in July, and then Peacemaker Season 2 wraps things up this year for DC in August. But now, let's get into the updates that James Gunn and Peter Safran gave on every DC project they've got on the roadmap. Starting with Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, they just gave a quick update that they're halfway through production and on track for the June 26, 2026 release date, which is good to hear. For the Clayface movie, they confirmed James Watkins is in talks to direct a solid Mike Flanagan script. They want this one in front of cameras by summer, and Safran has high hopes for it, comparing it to the Penguin show and the Joker movie, not the second one. Next up, the big one, The Batman 2. Matt Reeves still hasn't turned in his final script for this movie, but now we know why he hasn't done that, and he's still working hard on it, so it's all good, and they said from what they've seen, they love it. The plan for that is to get things rolling by the end of this year now to release on October 1st, 2027, which that could actually end up working great for them and the studio, as it'll be in theaters through Halloween and Thanksgiving, unless, of course, it bombs. Then the other Batman, Brave and the Bold, Andy Muschietti is still indeed attached to direct this movie, although that's not a final decision, and they have a writer on the movie who they wouldn't name. They pretty much said they want to keep the writer away from any added pressure from the fandom, which honestly, I can't blame them for. Anyway, Sergeant Rock got a minor update with Safran saying the script from Justin Kuritsky's is what made that project such a priority for the studio. Also, if they can find their star, now that Daniel Craig stepped away from the project, he will no longer portray Sergeant Rock. The movie will get in front of cameras this summer. Then, probably the most disappointing update for me with this press event came with the Authority talk. They still believe in the movie, but they admitted it's been a tough time with some of the other projects kind of stepping on its story and just the script not coming along as smoothly as they'd probably hoped it would. Finally, at least for the movies, we still gotta talk TV. We've got 3 more updates on 3 other movies. The ball is in James Mangold's court for the Swamp Thing movie, Anna Niguara is hard at work on a Teen Titans movie script, and Matthew Orden is still working on his first draft of his secret movie, which there are rumors that it'll feature Bane and Deathstroke. Alright, moving on to the shows, which, to be honest, they had a lot less to say about, but we've still got some updates on 6 of their upcoming shows. First and foremost, at least foremost to me, Waller. It's another project they admitted has had a tough time getting off the ground, but it remains in development. The thing is, when you've got Viola Davis, you travel that bumpy road to get to the end because she's great. Then for Lanterns, they just confirmed that the series will indeed premiere next year, or early next year to be specific, which to me, that just says they had a smooth first week on set and everything's on track with the show, which is all you can really ask for at this point in production. But the same can't be said about The Penguin, as season 2 is still getting things going, but that's not the end of the world. They're trying to figure out the schedule with Colin Farrell, and I'm sure Lauren LaFranc is still working on the scripts too, so it's no big deal. Then, and I found this bit very interesting, all we got for Paradise Lost was that it's still in the works. We don't know who's writing it, if anybody, and there's just no sign of Wonder Woman in the DCU at this point, which is it's certainly a choice. Anyway, the show that got the biggest update was Booster Gold. They had a showrunner that wanted to do the project, but that fell through, and so they're moving forward with someone else now. It'll be interesting to see, though, if Kumail Nanjiani is still Booster when that project comes to be. Then the final show they spoke on here was the Blue Beetle show, which I'm very glad to know is still in development after I made a whole video about it 2 weeks ago. Safran said they're going to see a pitch for a green light on the project soon, and it's going to follow the events of the movie, just like I told you guys it would. But that's not the end of this massive news drop. We've still got 3 more projects that they announced that we gotta talk about. The first is an animated series titled Superpowers, which I'm assuming, I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming is set in James Gunn's DCU. It follows new students Lightning, Flash, Plastic Man, Aquagirl, Green Lantern, and Terra at a school where Martian Manhunter is the principal. Now, I know that might sound wonky or kiddish, trust me. I had to read it a couple times too, but I thought about it a little more, calmed down a bit from my initial reaction, and I think there's some potential if they approach this in the sense that it's John Jones mentoring a new era of heroes for the DCU. Anyway, the other project that is for sure set in James Gunn's DCU is a Starfire animated series. This is going to be her origin story for the DCU, and I guess that means it's technically going to serve as a prequel to that Teen Titans movie that I mentioned earlier, because she'll definitely be on that team. Finally, we've got another show coming from the creators of My Adventures with Superman, My Adventures with Green Lantern. Set in the same universe on the same timeline, it'll feature Jessica Cruz, who has her life upended when she gets the ring. I'm a big fan of their work at DC so far with the Superman show that features Jack Quaid as the alien hero, so this was a nice surprise. And so that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know which movie and show you're looking forward to the most from the new era of DC down in the comments below, and make sure you have a great day.